voices in my head know me, call me. I will be restless. Somehow they chose me. This is my nightlife. Wanna be high life. I feel so reckless, calling them all night. I'm calling, I'm calling. I'm calling, I'm calling. It's the freedom I shouldn't have, with the people I shouldn't know. I might as well let it still out that. It's the only thing that I fucking do. Happy on the outside, weary inside, smiling depression. They think I'm alright. I'm calling, I'm calling. I'm calling, I'm calling. It's a freedom I shouldn't have, with the people I shouldn't know. I might as well let it still out that. It's the only thing that I fucking do. It's not exactly me. I know, but I can't help it. The day called back, you were never here. The day called back, you cannot see me.
Hello and welcome back to the sunny paddock here in Le Mans for qualifying of the French Grand Prix. And just before the break, we saw Andrea Dovizioso go fastest in free practice 4, and we heard
Mugello, I think.
There's a lot going to be happening in Mugello, and Alex Rins then signing for another 2 years for Suzuki. Great for consistency for him, but hasn't been the greatest of days for him today, is it?
No, talking about consistency, he hasn't had it all season this year. You know, 4 races in, he's had 3 crashes in out of the 4. We had an amazing podium, obviously, in Argentina there, but crashing again out of the last corner. He's in Q1 here. He's got a lot of work to do. He's got that comfort zone now of signing that 2-year deal with Suzuki. Hopefully that'll just settle him down, because I think he has got the potential to be a very successful MotoGP rider, but yeah, it just needs to all settle down.
Suzuki certainly investing in him, and the ability that they know that he's got, and they need to unearth that. And everybody's talking about Suzuki, you know, with the fact that will Jorge Lorenzo go to them and sign for them? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's been awkward, hasn't it? Because all of a sudden, you know, in his resurgence of form has made it very, very difficult for Suzuki to make that gamble, because Rins at the moment still doesn't look like a possible championship contender for them. He's the youngster, he's the one that needs to develop. So the other side of the garage needs to be the guy with the experience that can win races. Iannoni's only just starting that, but it sounds to me that the negotiations with Lorenzo have just come before Iannoni's been able to show that potential.
Well, talking about a man with experience, definitely won't be going to Suzuki next season at all, is Valentino Rossi. But also for him, unusual to see him down in the dirt, and this front end causing a lot of problem. Of course, it's a huge front end track here in Le Mans.
It is, and these last 2 corners, turn 13 and 14, they're so flat and off camber. You actually go over the curbs and in between the actual other circuit, and it's really, really tricky. Very easily done, and I think maybe Valentino was just wanting to find that limit and go over that limit to actually do a bit of a Marquez on it. And he's been having a great weekend so far, and I think Rossi's definitely up for a podium tomorrow.
Well, what about Cal? We saw him down, looking really irritated as well in that session, and things just not going his way here. No,
for some reason he's got a bit of an 11th bogey thing going on. In the last 3 sessions, he's been 11th, and he's got to go into Q1 to get into Q2, and he's up against some very, very, very strong riders. Pol Espargaro, you're looking at here, but you know, to go in against Rins and all the rest of them, it's going to be a tough job for Cal, but I'm certain that he can go into Q2.
He's also going to be against Danilo Petrucci, and that's another interesting story that's unfolding, isn't it, in the Pramac team? Because if Jorge did leave Ducati, of course it leaves the seat free. Then who fills that seat? Could it be one of the... there we go, thank you very much, Director. Could it be one of... They've got Ducati contracts, it would make sense. And would it be the youngster, Jack Miller, coming through? Would they think he's got enough experience? Could it be Danilo for a year and then Jack? We don't know, but it's interesting to talk about these things.
I don't think it's a surprise to see Petrucci and Jack Miller going very, very well, because there's a possible factory ride at the end of it. If Lorenzo does go to Suzuki, you can see their performances slightly up in their game a bit, especially in this Q1.
OK, then for Q1 then, obviously this is the battle to get through. 2 riders will go through with the chance of getting onto the first 4 rows. Who do you think it's going to be?
Petrucci and Critchlow.
OK, let's head over to comms then for this one and get their thoughts on it.
Thank you very much, Susie. And Neil Hodgson stays with me here in the commentary box. My name's Keith Ewan, and bit of a risky game waiting down the end of pit lane with the wind blowing and the ambient temperature being so low. Those that took the tyre warmers off last were the ones with a little bit of an advantage. A distinct disadvantage, as Lucy stands at the back there, wife to Cal Crutchlow. He's only got 1 bike for this session, so if he does anything, I won't say daft, because he's not throwing it at the fence on purpose. The fact it is that he's only got 1 motorcycle, and he does go through to qualifying 2, courtesy of a lap that he does, and does any damage to this one, he's not going to have a bike for qualifying 2 if they can't get the one that he's damaged ready in time.
Yeah, I mean, it is far from ideal. That said, I'm still putting my money, I'm going with what JT said actually. I'm going with Petrucci and Cal. Just looking down, the only fly in the ointment, even though Danny Pedrosa's in there, you would assume I'd go for him, could be Pol Espargaro's. Has done some fast laps this weekend. That said, he has crashed twice.
Well, I mean,
I think the two go hand in hand.
I was going to say, Rins has been off a couple of times as well, and he's in the mix, I suppose, if he gets a quick time to go on the Suzuki. I think Rins could be, you're talking of fly in the ointments, on the Suzuki.
It's actually, if you look at the GP, the 24 riders, it's who's not crashed this weekend, really. It's literally that much. I mean, Pedrosa's been down there, Xavier Simeon's been down, Luti's been down twice.
Yeah.
I don't think Petrucci's been down.
It's all a question of how much it affects your mind. You're right, Petrucci, I think Petrucci might well be a given for going through in the top 2 here. So the top 2 will go through to join the 10 that are already through, courtesy of their free practice sessions. Then it's about the rest. And if the top 2 go through, that'll be the 4 rows sorted. The order still to be sorted through qualifying 2. And everyone else is fighting for grid positions from 5 backwards, row 5 backwards. And you really do not want to be mired back down there. Cal Crutchlow, Danny Pedrosa, some big names in this session that are going to want to go through. They don't want to be starting back on the 5th row. No. Because it is the toughest course up the top of the hill there on that opening lap.
It just funnels in. It's obviously really quick round 1 and 2 into turn 3, but it just funnels in and then it goes straight into a chicane, which... generally means it's one line through a chicane and then up over the Dunlop, under the Dunlop bridge.
And
that's
then
one line. Really quick round 1 and 2 into turn 3, but it just funnels in and then it goes straight into a chicane, which generally means it's one line through a chicane. Year last year, he'd be the first to admit it. Finished down in the 20s in the championship in Moto 2, but in Moto 2, but
il tempo veramente ci è sicuramente impressionante.
Pedrosa będzie teraz zjeżdżał do alei serwisowej. niezłe tempo w pierwszym sektorze w wykonaniu zawodnika na Hondzie, a Bradley Smith na 5. miejsce, co ciekawe, szybciej od Paula Espargaro.
Dokładnie
o 0,2 sekundy, mniej więcej szybciej.
An extra now, don't they, to do this session, so the allocation
Shouldn't be an issue, should it?
No, it
You do
shouldn't.
get an extra one if you go through.
It shouldn't be an issue, but maybe he's damaged a pair. Smith 5th, good on you, Bradley. 1:32.7. How does that compare with what he's done this weekend so far? That's 2/10 quicker than he's been all weekend as well. So
And it's faster than his teammate.
yeah, that's the kind of thing that we want to see, and
Certainly
he
is.
obviously does as well.
What we're going to see here.
Taps it
That-
in.
Oh, Keith.
That is as close as it ever gets.
That's when you land back on the bike.
Oh.
And guess what? Yeah, that does hurt.
Yeah. That really
Yeah,
did.
that takes your breath away.
For obvious reasons.
He gets your attention, that, doesn't it?
Landed right on the back of the seat then. I was about to say he's been 2/10 quicker than he's done all weekend so far, and that's how much effort he was putting into it. Danilo, 31.9. I'd be surprised if anybody could get near that.
But imagine the pressure on this man. He has a chance of getting in the factory Ducati team, and if he gets a result this weekend, if he can get it on the podium in the drive, Petrucci, or at least battle inside that top 5.
Yeah, but you've already said it this weekend so far. He's on the full factory kit already at Pramac, whereas Jack Miller isn't.
Yeah.
So there is the conundrum that Ducati have, isn't it?
We know the limit of Petrucci because we've witnessed it for the last 2 years. I'm not saying he won't improve. Where Miller, you know, is his first year on the bike, he can step forward.
There is the marker you saw on Crutchlow's board, 31.9. So Lucio Cecchinello holding the board up with the 31.9 on it, and that's Danilo Petrucci's time. You always see the fastest lap done in the session on the board usually to aim at. He'll know what his time is because it'll be on his dashboard.
Yeah, and he's showing that to Carl. It's just to say, listen, you want to get through to qualifying 2.
Here's your marker.
This is your marker.
So, session go at it. Nearly 6 minutes to go.
Sorry. It's sort of the last thing you want to see because it's a decent time. It's when you look at it and you think, well, I know I can do that.
Yeah, but he knows he can do it.
Oh, Carl knows.
At the moment, he seems to be ruffled. It's a situation that the last couple of meetings haven't gone his way. He's chucked it away when he probably shouldn't have done.
Do you know, I think he's looked good all weekend, and the but is he's had a couple of crashes.
Yeah.
But he's looked good when he's not crashed.
Yeah, but that's the problem with Cal, isn't it? And that's the problem that is perceived about Cal, is that he crashes a lot. When you consider he was top of the list for crashing in MotoGP last year, it's something he can't shake off. It's something the fans, it's something the media, and you know it grinds at him. It's gonna grind at him. Not so much that he crashes because he's toughy enough to get over it, it would seem. Don't know how he does. But it's the way everybody talks about him. You know Cal is susceptible to what people say. Rins. Now, can he do it? New softs, front and rear, I think that was. Certainly on the rear. We've got softs on Bautista bike as well. Yeah, well, they've got 2 bikes each, of course, in MotoGP, not in Moto2 or Moto3. Funny, someone was saying the other day they don't like that rule. I can't remember who it was on our... I think it was on our team. And I agree. Might as well give... Let's have 2 bikes for everybody.
Yeah, I was saying it.
Was it you?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know me, I'm always moaning about something.
Yeah, but I agreed with you. I was hoping it wasn't you.
That's a rarity.
It's not. That's the trouble. Bautista comes to the line then. That ain't going to do anything.
Not having a great season, Bautista.
Shocking, isn't it?
Thought it was going to step up, make another step this year, and it's been the opposite. It's a slight step back.
Quick rider as well. Just goes to show, doesn't it?
Yeah. How strong the field is.
How strong the field is. Right then. What you got, Petrux, as we go under the Dunlop Bridge over
I used
the
to
hill.
love going under the Dunlop Bridge. It's like the best part of the track.
I did it.
Up and over that crest.
Didn't have a chicane in my day.
Yeah, it was fast, wasn't it?
Did you have a chicane in yours?
Yeah, I'd done the same layout.
No, not done that. We didn't have that bit. That's why I told you it was flat out over there when you asked me once.
Yeah. Yeah, cheers. Another good lap is Petrucci. Oh, did you hear that spinning up?
No way.
Hey, not much traction control there, Keith.
Yeah, but that's what you want. The problem is with traction control, I think JT was touching on it earlier. You got no, it was Michael, got no mechanical grip. As soon as the electronics interfere, it makes your bike go slow. It's just like your car at home. As soon as it starts spinning, it knocks the power off, and it's useless. You don't want that. You want, Carol Abram, another one.
Another one.
Turn 6 this time. That's La Chapelle. So he really has. He's inspecting all of the gravel traps.
Yep.
No, if you got
another good lap is Petrucci. Oh, did you hear that? Spinning up.
no way.
Hey, not much traction control there, Keith.
Yeah, but that's what you want.
That was.
The floor, Petruk's second sector. Look, first sector nothing particularly, and then the second sector. It's just the penalty doesn't fit the crime. Garage Vert.
No,
that's not good at all. He's
hurt. That's a big, ugly high side. It's like pointing to his shoulder or something then, or his collarbone.
Well, Petrux is going to go through 31.8. It's a quick time for him, and now because the medics are on the site for Cal, they won't move him in a big hurry. That's for sure. And they're taking his helmet off, so Cal is hurt.
Yeah, and if they're taking his helmet off at that point of the track, they'd better off throwing the red flag for Lyle. He's at the edge of the track. These lads are in qualifying, and you are supposed to slow down when you see a yellow flag. In qualifying, being honest, you don't.
You never do.
That's a reality of being a racer.
Unfortunately for them, though, they can get found out on that one now, and they can get penalised later because every sector is timed. And they can get penalised later because every sector is timed. Side, it really was, where you had no power band and all of a sudden fired it in and pitch you over the top. Pedrosa then will go through with Petrucci. Sorry to sound slightly despondent, but Pedrosa has picked up the pieces of his pretty horrible day. Rins has not managed to do what I thought he might. There's a red flag. Well, hang on a second, it's the end of the session anyway. So obviously, well, he's conscious, that's the main thing, but he's taken a beating. And I tell you, under the sun as well, when you're laying there injured, I've done that before. Let's take another look at this. So Cal Crutchlow comes in, he's got it hop, skipping and jumping at Garage Vert. He taps the power in. Just see him squeeze the power. Watch this. Oh, take that straight on the hip.
Yeah,
the right buttock has just taken a massive clout. And then the bike comes in to beat him up.
Ribs, all that.
Yeah. He's tough, but there's only so much he can take.
There's only so much your body can take.
Yeah. So Cal Crutchlow. Sorry, Cal. That's not the way we wanted to see your day end. You've certainly thrown everything at it, mate. There's no doubt about that. He gets 10 out of 10 for trying. Well, we'll give you a report on that. Lucio Cecchinello. The reason they're watching the screens as much as they do is because they need to work out strategically what they're going to do next. What the team are going to do next, whether they've got to get a bike ready, whether they've got to rush to the medical centre. I mean, I think it's fairly obvious today, but they watch the monitors as much as they can to really check out. Oh, look at that! Is incredible. Incredible. What a camera. What a camera. Crutchlow cam.
I wonder if he's
listen to him tap it in. Listen to him tap it in. Right. Oh, unfortunately, we lost the audio, which is I was hoping to hear whether. Yeah, the BLT boys. Yeah, we all feel like that. So we'll bring you news as soon as we can from the medical centre. Our people we know will be rushing down there to check up on Cal straight away. Lucy Crutchlow, his wife, is here. It's an anxious time for family, that's for sure. Deck we don't see so much, he's busy going off here, there and everywhere at the moment. His dad, who used to spend a lot of time here in the paddock, but he'll be across what's going on here as well. When your son's hurt after a racetrack incident, it's a tricky one.
This man will be disappointed.
Well, we are.
I mean Rins, sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm... No, I'm talking about Rins.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Rins was...
Again,
was
early
in a position to go through.
Slightly early on the signings from Suzuki. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that...
Yeah, we talked about that.
I'm not saying it's a bad signing, but he's crashed out of the last 2 races.
Well, I just think this really early signing thing has bitten them on the backside, hasn't it, a bit? Some of the factories, they've signed people, and maybe they could have done with just wait. Look at that, the campsite already. Thursday it was flat out.
Yeah.
So that's how it looks then from the Bugatti circuit here at Le Mans at the moment, and we wait for news on Cal Crutchlow. Here's back to Susie.
Thanks, Keith. And yeah, you can be assured as soon as we have any news at all, of course, we will let you know what's happening with Cal. Took the wind out of everybody's sails, especially Cal's. I think it was mentioned then in commentary, it was reminiscent of a 500 high side. It was massive.
Yeah, it was just coming into turn 8 here. Just get full lean. Look at the lean angle that he's got there, and it just taps the throttle, and it comes around just slightly cold part of the tyre. I don't know if he had a bit of a slow start, but the problem is for me, I did exactly the same at Cadwell Park, exactly the same impact, and it looks a bit of a hip femur issue. Look how he lands on that right hip and that right femur. Fingers crossed it is okay, but if there's any injuries, that's going to be it, I think. Just coming on board with him here out of turn 7, you just got to get on the brakes. It really narrows down. It's a really awkward corner. It's downhill, off camber in the bumps. You just get fully, it's a double apex right-hander there. Just tap the throttle, away it goes and throws him in the air. And I hope that right hip is okay.
Landed right on it. That was a real bash on the pelvis as well.
Yeah, that's it. It's 100% commitment. Cal's seen the time he had to do was so fast to break into those 31s if he wanted through to Q2, so he was putting everything on the line. People ask, can you still high side with traction control? I think we've seen Bradley have a moment, we've seen Paul have a moment, and then that just caught Cal out. The guy's right so close to the limit, the traction control isn't going to catch it. You still have to feel it with your right hand and through the seat of your pants almost. It's those sensations, and it just can happen like that in an instant, and you're down. And he didn't really do a lot wrong. The track is a little bit greasy, so the penalty didn't fit the crime really. It's a big impact on. Cal's weekend has deteriorated from he looked good in FP1, he looked good in FP2, and now 3 crashes later and he's in trouble.
Yeah, you could see that he was 100% committed and running out of time and trying to get that hot lap in to go through. Wasn't possible. We'll come back to you as soon as we have any information on Cal's condition. But it was Pedrosa and Petrucci that have gone through to Q2. Yeah, and we didn't really see that much of them, obviously, with that happening, but exactly what they needed to do. Here's Danny.
Yeah, Danny Pedrosa, it's a bit of a slow start for the weekend, and Petrucci on board with Petrucci. What a lap that's equalled the fastest lap of the weekend with Dovi yesterday. I don't know what happened in free practice 4, but the Pramac team must have done a different setting on that bike, because he was right up there. I think he was 2nd or 3rd in that FP4. He's taken that momentum straight into Q1, and what a lap. I think the only one of 2 or 3 riders to get into the 31s all weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just remind you about the Suzuki story this weekend. Alex Rins has re-signed for Suzuki. They haven't talked really about Andrea Iannone, their other rider. The whole paddock is talking about who will sign for Suzuki. Will it be Andrea Iannone? He's been going very well this year. Will it be a certain Jorge Lorenzo? We don't know. We think we'll find out in Mugello. Gavin is with Davide Brivio now, the boss at Suzuki. Maybe he can shed some light on the scenario.
Let's hope he can, Susie. I'm going to ask him first of all about Alex Rins, because obviously he has signed up for another 2 seasons. Hasn't gone so well today. What have you seen in Alex that you expect from him in the future?
Yeah, it's been, I think, about today, it's been a little bit unlucky. He had a crash this morning on some stones, remained on a track, and then there was also on the last lap, unfortunately, Cal crashed, slowed down. So anyway, a little bit more difficult than previous weekend, but I think looking at the race, I think we can be faster and we can improve with Alex. And Andrea has a good pace, also looking at the race. Now we see what we can do in a qualifying.
So Alex has signed up for the next couple of years. What about the seat alongside him. We've heard obviously Andrea in the mix still, Jorge Lorenzo, we've heard Joan Mir. What can you tell us at this moment? Where are negotiations for a teammate to Alex Rins?
Yeah, it's a talking time, you know, like, yeah, of course, it's true. We're talking to Andrea, first of all, and also we're talking to some other riders, and as well, Andrea is talking to other teams, you know, that's why talking time. I mean, we have to see. I hope by Mugello maybe to have more clear scenario, and we also have to see whether to go for like expert rider, young rider.
Yeah, that's it. What is the aim for Suzuki? What are they wanting in that seat alongside Alex?
I mean, on one side we need
both sides of the story. Great question in what is it that Suzuki want, because he had to be careful how he answered that. If he said we want experience, we'd all be jumping on the Lorenzo story. Now, clearly, there's two different pots of money going on here. Davide has just been to Japan. He's just been speaking to the bosses about various other things, I'm sure, going on as well in the paddock, and bikes for teams and etc, etc. But is that, do you think, you know, the story? Because Suzuki in the past, they haven't really ever put out big money for a big rider before, have they?
I don't know what Kevin Swantz was on back in the day.
Well, in recent era.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Interesting for me, first they were talking to Andrea. That's what he said just then. So it wasn't really, we're concentrating on trying to get secure Lorenzo. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think that's really put the my bet would be back into Andrea's choice for me with his recent form.
You've swung the other way, haven't you?
Well, I think it's important for Ducati to keep Lorenzo. If they want to develop that bike for corner speed and improve the corner speed, they need to keep Lorenzo. And I think Andrea's done enough over the last 3 races to prove that he is the rider that can be alongside a rookie, not rookie, but a young rider like Rins, and help him along and have the experience on one side of the garage and the youngster on the other side, like Davide was saying there.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of 50-50, isn't it, really, Michael? Before you answer that, I just want to show you a little bit of footage that's just coming in. This is Cal on the stretcher. Can you just see him? I think he gives thumbs in the air.
Yeah, he's waving, so he's giving us a thumbs up, which is good. That's a good sign. He's probably winded, a little beaten up, battered and bruised. And yeah, knowing Cal, he'll be back on the bike tomorrow morning, and hopefully no ill effects.
Well, we'll go out to Q2 then with that good news that Cal Crutchlow seems like he's okay, certainly in good spirits, enough to give us the thumbs up from the stretcher anyway. That's pretty much as good as it gets for the moment. We'll catch up with him later on, but for now, let's see this shootout for pole position. It's Q2.
Well, they used to call Cal Crutchlow the honey badger, and if you know anything about that particular animal, you'll know it's tough, it's quite aggressive, and doesn't give up much, and that really encompasses all of the side of Cal Crutchlow that he'll need at this moment in time, because that was a fair clattering, there's no doubting that, and he's going to be starting way down the order should he be fit enough to start tomorrow's race, not the way that he would want to be heading into the French Grand Prix. So it's qualifying 2. This is it then for the front 4 rows of the grid. The order is to be sorted out in these 15 minutes. Who's your money on? it's a disaster for just about everyone else, particularly this young man, of course.
And it's great having Tim. Tim's a PR guy for Michelin Tyres, so we get the information off him, and it's factual. You know, it's not hearsay throughout the paddock. We're very fortunate to have someone like him in the paddock.
The warmers are set at 90 degrees front and rear for slick tyres, 45 degrees front and rear for wet tyres. Look at the amount of movement that Danny Pedrosa's getting on that as well. They've only got these 15 minutes. You muck this up in the early part of this session, don't get a banker lap in, and you are going to start on the 4th row. And as I've already underlined several times, along with my colleagues here in the commentary box, all us ex-riders, you do not want to be starting in Le Mans lower than the 2nd row of the grid.
Yeah, I was going to say lower than the 3rd row, but yeah, preferably lower than the 2nd row.
Which is the 3rd row.
Yeah.
See, we're not mathematicians, but we know where we prefer to start from.
Who's your money on, Keith?
Well, I would have gone Zarco, but I'm going to have to go Marquez.
Yeah.
Marquez or Dovizioso, but I'll go with Marquez. That's assuming he doesn't chuck it at the fence.
Which
is a possibility.
Yeah, yeah. Every time I see someone touring with so only touring in the background, I get my palms sweat a little bit more. Here he comes, Zarco. Is he on a good lap? Let's have a look at the time. He's on a good lap.
Yeah, I mean, I think Zarco has had stuff in hand. He has not looked in the slightest bit out of sorts anywhere, has he?
No.
He's really looked calm, cool, collected.
And really, he's not been down, has he? Yeah,
no, he hasn't.
He's
been
one
down.
of the very few MotoGP riders that have not crashed at all this weekend.
And this plays into his hands. Soft tyres, front and rear. It's what he's good at.
Yeah.
This short spurting stuff. Zarco 1:32.0, so we're a long way off of that quickest ever lap 31.6 that Vinales did. But I just reckon Zarco, with those soft tyres on, with this short, sharp 15 minutes, two goes at it session, will play into his own hands.
This man's been slowly creeping up all weekend. Nothing sensational early on, but you can tell he's been working hard at it. And as we know, qualifying's almost even more important for Lorenzo, because he's not aggressive on that first lap.
Oh, Aleix Espargaro again at the top of the hill where we've just been. So Aleix Espargaro has dumped the Aprilia down. They're right in the middle of the track there still. Where is Aleix? Probably running down pit lane. Yeah, he is, to go and get his spare bike. So you boys clear up my mess.
If he can keep that advantage, it'll be the fastest ever lap round this track. That's how good this lap is that Petrucci's on. He's got the perfect marker.
He really has.
Won his teammate.
I'd forgotten about the Suzuki man, who looks like he's made it through onto the front row at this first go at it.
And Petrucci, unfortunately for him, lost 0.2 in that last split. He rushed, I think it was turn 12 when I said he was wide. He then was wide through the last 2 sections, and that's where he lost point 2.
Which is why 31.645. Well, that's not the fastest time so far. That's just today's quick time by... It's 31.619 from Viñales, according to my sheet here in FP3. So graphic is correct of a sort. So Zarco will roll round. New tyres. All of these boys are going to head for tyres. And
out goes Aleix to have another go. Trying to get further than turn 1.
Hello, Lorenzo giving it a bit of hand signals. I always think that at this point in your day, there's no point in hand signals. It's focus, focus, focus.
Yeah.
You're not going to get any more out of these guys or those bikes.
And it's not worth making a change.
It really isn't.
Your qualifying lap now is, you know...
Get out and do it.
Yeah. But that's the way he's always worked, and he's won 5 world championships.
And I'm going to use an Americanism here, he's the most winningest man, isn't he, round here?
Place.
5 MotoGP and 1 250.
Pretty impressive.
And a 250 ride as well, so...
And you wouldn't normally say this is a Lorenzo track. Just look at, you know, you go like somewhere like Jerez where it's lots of flowing corners, you'd expect that to work for him, but not here, where it's stop-start. Stop repeating everything I say.
Sorry, mate. I taught you those words.
No, Julian did.
We checked into the hotel first time out here and someone said, "Is this your son?"
Yeah.
Oh dear, leave it alone. I'd be proud to have you as a son.
Oh, don't, I'm welling up here.
I love your mum, and I like your dad.
Oh no, it's all gone
But I like your dad.
Well, you mentioned my mum. Happy birthday for my mum. That was the other day on Friday, bless her. I'm sure she's listening. I hope she is. My dad will be criticising everybody, telling them what they're doing wrong.
Tell you what, stat just coming through from our producer Kevin that we had 64 crashes.
Incredible.
We had 94 last year.
Did we really?
It was wet, yeah.
Oh yeah,
what a stat.
Right, yeah,
but I left that gap for you because it's stunning, isn't it? 64 crashes so far, and we think we're hard done by, all these guys do. 94 last year. Great stat.
I mean, we've not had race day yet, Keith.
Good point.
Or Moto 2 qualifying.
Yeah, but 30 is the grid.
And this man's got a crash in him still today.
Yeah, and several saves from a disaster as well, probably. Here we go then, 41, the Aprilia. Aleix Espargaro, he's just up and over the hill as we wait for the warmers to come off. Last minute, you want to leave them on there for as long as you can. Keep every degree of heat in it.
And as you can see, Aleix through the first split was slow. We're going to forgive him that, because that involves going through turn 1, where obviously he crashed on his first attempt.
Turn 1 is actually labelled turns 1 and 2 here. I don't understand why that is. When we talk about turn 3 being the first left-hander, but it's a long, long right-hander, but it's so long and it's so fast, they've decided to give it two turns. See the way it digs in just there? It's like a berm.
It's almost like you could see, it sort of dips. There's like a slight dip, and then you could see the traction control working a little bit there, like grabbing hold of it.
Then as it dips in, it gets that bit of grip, and you can launch out of it.
And with the Michael Laverty was saying about traction control, you can still high-side a motorcycle with traction control.
Well, I think
you can set it so you can't high-side a motorcycle with traction control, but your lap time would be 2-3 secones off the pace.
Exactly the problem these guys have got. It is that conundrum, isn't it? You turn the traction control up so it keeps you safe, but then you lose all forward momentum when the thing kicks in. It's an old-fashioned system that's on this thing. Everyone says around 7 years out of date, really. It's a leveller, but the problem is you've got to take the traction control off to push the bike. You've got to make it spin to push it forward. As soon as the electronics start to interfere, it just slows you down. It just knocks the power off electronically. Nightmare.
So I'd love to see Aleix's crash at turn 1, because as he went, he held it and then he literally just let go of the handlebars, which you never see anymore.
Yeah, unless it's going at 180 mile an hour, you might just let go.
Oh yeah, I'm not criticising him for it. I understand exactly why he did it.
Yeah, we're still waiting for the first 360-degree crash from Marc Marquez, where he actually
rides it out
right the way around and rides back out of it.
It's coming.
We've seen everything else. It definitely is.
Because if you'd have said years ago some of the saves we've seen him do, if somebody had said, oh, he'll be able to slide on his shoulder and pick the bike up, we'd all go, well, that's not going to happen. And
you get away with maybe 1 or 2 of them in your entire career, not every weekend.
So Miller's in a good place. So Marquez has started his flying lap, and Jack Miller's about half a second behind him. It'll be a great reference.
3 minutes left then of qualifying 2. This is the qualifying that sorts out the front 4 rows of the grid. Front row right now, Zarco. That'll go down well here for the French Grand Prix. Petrucci and Iannone, of all people. Then it's Marquez Lorenzo and Dovizioso on row 2. Rabat.
Great reference.
3 minutes left then of qualifying 2. This is the qualifying that sorts out the front 4 rows of the grid. Front row right now, Zarco. That'll go down well here for the French Grand Prix. Petrucci and Iannone, of all people. Then it's Marquez Lorenzo and Dovizioso on row 2. Rabat. Can he hold it together?
I think this is going to be a polo crash lap.
It looks like it to me. You're so right. You are so right.
And again, we will forgive him.
Because already he's in the second row position, but he looks calm and comfortable. Look at the way that thing turns from side to side, so sharp. The M1, it's the independent team M1, and he's coming to the end of the lap now. He's surely got this done, and he comes through the final corner, and he gets it up on both wheels, and he hasn't even used all the curb. He's going to go pole. Yes. Zarco 31.185. He is over a tenth faster than Marc Marquez. Iannone is third. The checker flag is about to come out. It's not done and dusted just yet. There are other players. Iannone still going quick behind Viñales. In front of us here, 29 is Iannone, 25 is Viñales. Who's it going to be through the S's? Oh, stunning. Pedrosa only 8th for him as he comes under the line. He'll get another lap. The flag's not out just yet. These boys will get another go at it. Oh, that camera scares me. Viñales will get another go at it. Iannone will get another go at it. Oh, look at Viñales, 7th. He was the quickest man come yesterday. So a real disaster come this morning.
Yeah, I was going to say FP3.
Yeah, you're right.
FP3. Fastest ever lap round here, and he's not even managed to match that in qualifying.
Petrucci's got something to play with here. This is going to put him on the front row if he's got it going. It does put him on the front row. Petrucci goes to the front row. The flag is out. Petrucci was the first man. Wow. So is there anybody with anything going? Marquez. Yeah, but Marquez isn't going to bump Petrucci. He might just bump Zarco for pole if he can. This is going to be a pole or bust kind of a lap from Marquez.
Yeah, and he's got a great marker because he's got Viñales in front of him just far enough away so he won't hold him up.
Perfect.
He's lost too much time. No, it's done. Zarco is on pole.
Oh, yeah.
It's done. He's not going to gain that time back up.
No. Not even Marc Marquez.
He's going to try, but I don't think he's going to achieve his goal.
Johann Zarco. What a day this will be. What a weekend this will be. The Frenchman has put it on pole in the French Grand Prix. Surely Marquez can't recover from a .257 deficit.
He's going to prove us wrong.
Oh, he might just do it. He's picked over a quarter of a second up in sector 3. Can he do it?
I think he's trying.
He's only 900ths off, and I believe he possibly can.
He believes he possibly can.
As we come to the last corner, Zarco on pole. Is he going to break French hearts as far as pole position is concerned? It definitely looks like it now, doesn't it? Does he make it to the top? No, he misses out by what? A tenth of a second. So sector 4. That's a great scene, isn't it? Hervé Poncharo's Tech 3 team have put it on pole position. Johann Zarco has not disappointed the French crowd. There are thousands and thousands of trackside today. We are in surely for the biggest crowd ever tomorrow, just courtesy of a Frenchman that will start from pole position who has a real chance of winning this French Grand Prix.
What a ride, what a weekend. He's worked hard all through the practice sessions. It's all he's done is focus on his race setup. Long run after long run, but when it counted, when the pressure was on, he's dug in, he's risked everything, and he's done the unimaginable. He's put it on pole. If we didn't think this place was going to have a record crowd tomorrow, it certainly is now, Keith.
Do you know what? There's something beautiful about this. There's something poetic about it. It's just got all the hairs on my arms are stood on end. It's just so exciting to watch. this type of man, he's a unique. There is no other Johann Zarco or any other rider or any other person I've ever met that is even close to this guy. He's a completely different kind of character.
Look at him, Keith. Look at him, Keith!
He's off the thing.
Wow. I don't even know what he's doing there.
No, I don't. That was an incredible body language on that motorcycle.
This is the pole position lap as well. This isn't one that he's made a mistake on.
Fastest ever man round this race.
I'm just going to say that's you want to get a pole position at your home Grand Prix. That's what you've got to do. You've got to twist a Yamaha into shapes that it's never been before. Let's put it into some context here. The next Yamaha is the factory Yamaha rider of Vignoli's 8th. Behind him, 9th, Valentino Rossi.
Johann Zarco.
Stock value, Keith.
Well, he's only 27 years old now. This will be his 23rd Grand Prix at MotoGP, that's all. He's finished in the points in every Grand Prix since he fell off in Qatar, his first ever Grand Prix, which he was leading at the time he fell off in. So Johann Zarco
is a bit good.
You can't overstate the bloke,
I can't wait for his interview.
No, I can't. That's going to be something a little special, isn't it?
Yeah, enjoy the moment. And then press reset and relax. And come out tomorrow and ride that motorcycle.
Even our cameramen have got smiles on their faces. You know, this is a spectacular qualifying session. Johann Zarco. Hark at the circuit commentator. He's freaking out.
Can't blame him.
Brilliant stuff.
Well, Fred Clark would be, wouldn't he, if we were at Silverstone and that was Cal for pole?
Well, you'd parachute out the commentary window, wouldn't you? I can't even say it. I've got JT.
You got too excited.
I have. I've been rooting for this French guy.
We have since F1, haven't we?
For as long as I can remember. So, Johann Zarco then with a big smile on his face in Parc Fermé. We'll get a word with him in a minute, but now let's go back to Susie.
Monsieur Zarco!
Vive la France!
Well, vive la France! I think every single person wanted Zarco to be on pole here because what an atmosphere. You could see the crowd were just ecstatic. Let's go back and have a look at that. Well, what was a phenomenal lap, wasn't it, Michael?
Unbelievable. Yeah, the session didn't disappoint. We've been saying about Zarco all weekend, if he can deliver, and he just put everything on the line. You see him here, this is approaching the Shimano Booth chicane, and just watch him on the exit as he fights with this bike to find grip, just to find that extra little bit of traction for the lap time. You see him here, he's down the inside of the bike, and he's just picking it up, fighting for it. He goes twice with it there. Just that physical effort of getting the bike up onto the larger part of the tyre, getting it off the corner. Fantastic stuff. And this last section, he just nails it. Every single apex, he's bang on it. He actually doesn't cut the curb as much in the last corner as what I expected, and I thought that perhaps that 1 inch of track might cost him because Marquez is all over it, but here he just stays actually on the tarmac, but he gets it off the corner, accelerates, and fastest lap we've ever seen round the Le Mans circuit when it really counts. Unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, 31-1. Just have a look at this replay. Turn 12. You can really see the determination, James.
We go hard till the sun come up. Ganja smoking, they got rum in me